Okay, now starting with the question, it says that bacteria are growing in a liquid growth medium. There was 3 lakh cells per milliliter during an initial observation. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. Okay, how many cells per milliliter will be there? Will be 15 hours after the initial observation. So we will have to find out how many bacteria will be there per milliliter after 15 hours. So this is actually a concept of compounding, right? It is compounding concept. Let's understand carefully. To make the calculations easy, just let's take, instead of 3 lakh, let's take 3 bacterias are there per milliliter, right? Instead of 3 lakhs, let's write 3L here per milliliter, right? So 3L bacteria per milliliter in next 3 hours, right? How much it will be? 3 lakhs will get doubled, so it will be 6 lakhs. So can we say in next 3 hours, this 6 will get doubled to 12 lakhs? Next 3 hours, this will double to 24 lakhs. Now, how many hours we have done? So 3 hours in the beginning, 3, then 3, then. So 9 hours are left. We have to reach 15 hours. So again, next 3 hours, how many? 24 will double to 48 lakhs. And next, in next 3 hours, 48 will double to 96. And that's the answer. Let's quickly check where is it. 96 lakhs, that is option D being the correct one here. Okay, so we have used a basic understanding to solve the question. No formula required here to solve the question. Follow the question, understand the question carefully, and then figure out which approach you will be using. Otherwise, some of the approach gives you the correct answer, but it takes a lot of time as compared to understanding and finding out the shortest way to solve the question. Let's now understand the next question. Okay, now starting with the question, which expression is equivalent to this expression which is given to you? And this is actually algebra. The topic which is tested is algebra, and under algebra, that is the expressions. Algebra, and under algebra, the topic tested is expressions, right? Expression, just quickly understand, expression is which do not have any left hand side or a right hand side. Let's say if x plus y, that's an expression. Individually, x can take any particular value, y can take any particular value. Whereas an equation, if you understand an equation, what's the difference is it has a equal to sign. So x plus y is equal to 3. So that is an equation, whereas x plus y only without an equal to sign is known as an expression. Now here, if we understand 6x raised to power 8 y square plus 12x square y square. Now, if we understand there are two terms, right? There are two terms, and from these two terms, 6 is the coefficient of x and y variables here. So 6 taken common, that's can be done, as well as x and y also are there in both the terms, right? So it's x and y, and what is the maximum power of x can be taken common? Out of 8 and 2, 2 can be taken common. Why? Because you cannot exceed x raised to power 2. You cannot take anything apart from x raised to power 2 common from the second term. And what about y? Y maximum is going to be 2. And what will be left inside? From the first term, 6 taken common, x raised to power, what is remaining will be x raised to power 6. Why? Because already 2 taken common. So what is left is x raised to power 6 plus out of 12, 6 taken common, what is left is 2, x square already taken common, y square already taken common. So our answer will be 6x square y square times x raised to power 6 plus 2. Let's quickly check. That is option C being the correct one. Let's now try the next question. Now, starting with the question, it says that neighborhood consists of 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3934. The equation is given as 2x plus 35y is equal to 3934. 3934 represents this situation. Which of the following best represents best interpretation of x in this context. That means if we understand that's a linear equation, right? The concept tested here is actually linear equation, and they have given a linear equation, which is 2x plus 335y is equal to 3900. And what is the more thing which is given here is that the park, right? Park area is given as the area of park available, that is given as 2 hectare. And what is the residential area given? Residential area given, that is equal to 35 hectares, right? 35 hectares. And what is more is given as a linear equation. That means 2 into x plus 35y. 35y is equal to 35y is equal to 3934. And the question asks, what does the representation of x mean here? Now you can understand this is the number of the trees, right? That's the number of the total number of the trees. So that means on the left hand side, this also should be the number of the trees. 2 is hectare, 2 is the area. That means the area in which the trees are there. X must represent nothing else but the number of the trees in which in the park area. This should be that's the number of the trees here. Let's write number of trees. And on the left hand side also, it should be nothing else but the number of the trees. This is number of trees, and this also should be number of trees, right? Number of trees. So we can easily say that 2x must represent the number of the trees. 2 is the hectare. That means x must represent the number of trees in the park area, right? Average number of trees in the park area. That means option, if we understand, y also represents what? Number of trees, average number of trees in the residential area. The question asks us about x, right? That means it has to be nothing else but the average number of trees per hectare in the park area. So that's a good option. Average number of trees per hectare in residential area. No, that is actually y. So this also goes away. Total number of the trees in the park. No, it can't be the total. X cannot represent the total number of trees. Total number of trees will be x plus y. And the total number of the trees in the residential area, that is actually not the case. Why? Because that will be 35. Y will be the total number of the trees in the residential area. So D also goes away, A being the correct answer here. That's the average number of the trees per hectare. If 1 hectare has X, so 2 hectares will have 2X number of the trees in the park area. Let's now do the next question. Okay, now starting with the question, that's the question number 18. It says that the graph shows the relationship between number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of the shares of stock of company B and Y that Simon can purchase. Which equation could represents this relationship? Okay, so there's a company A, there's a company B, and that's the number of the stocks, right, which is represented with respect to x-axis and with respect to y-axis. We need to determine what is this line equation, right? So the concept tested is actually equation of line or algebra, linear algebra. Okay, equation of line, and the equation of line is going to be y is equal to mx plus c, right? That's the slope intercept form. What is slope intercept form? Let's write here slope intercept form. Now what is slope intercept form? Where the line intersects the y-axis, this is known as y-intercept, and where the line intersects the x-axis, that point is known as x-intercept, right? And y-intercept, x will be always 0, and y and x-intercept, y will always be equal to 0. So what will be this point? This is the y-intercept. That means this point will be 0, 40. And what will be this point? This point will correspond to 60, 0. That means x is 60, y is 0. Let's now substitute this value, right? X as 60, y as 0. as well as this point, x as 0, y as 40, where whichever equation gives that, that will be the correct answer. So if we use the first option, option A, to solve the question, right? Let's substitute x as 0 and y as 40 and see to it that whether LHS is equal to RHS or not. So when you substitute x as 0, so 8x comes out to be 0. So y is equal to 12? No, y is actually 40. Option A gets cancelled out. Let's substitute x as 0 in option B. So this term will be 0. 12y is equal to 480. That means y should be 480 divided by 12, which is going to be 40. Okay, y we require as 40. So the first point is actually clear. What about this point? That is x-intercept. Let's now substitute in the same option B, x as 60, x 60, and y as 0. Let's see whether LHS is equal to RHS or not. So when you substitute x as 60, so 8 times 60, that is 480, plus 12 times 0, 12 times 0, that is 0. Is it equal to 480? Yes, 480 is equal to 480. So we are pretty sure that this equation satisfies both of the points. That means this is a good fit for the option to be correct. Let's see option C and try eliminating. Let's substitute x as 0. If you substitute x as 0, y comes out to be 8. We require y to be 40. Option C also goes away. Option D, let's check quickly. Let's substitute x as 0 and x as 0 and y as 40 to figure out whether it's equal to 480 or not. So if x is 0, 12 into 0, that is 0, plus 8 times 40, that is 320. Is it equal to any time 480? No, that's 0 plus 320 is never going to be equal to 480. D goes away. Option B being the correct one here. I hope the approach is quite clear. Let's now move to the next question. Okay, now starting with the question. Circle A has radius 3n and circle B has radius 129n. N is a positive constant. Area of circle B is how many times area of circle A. And concept tested is here geometry, right? And in geometry, specifically related to circles. And what's the area of a circle? We know that it's pi r square. Let's now understand. So radius of circle A, that is given as 3n. Radius of circle B, that is given as 129n, right? N is a positive constant, the area of circle B. So they are saying that area of B is how many times? Let's say that is x times area of circle A. And what is area formula? That is pi r square. RB square is equal to x times pi r b square. So pi will get cancelled from both the sides. X will be nothing else but RB square divided by RA square. And what is RB? That is 3n. Just substitute here 3n whole square divided by RA. Oh, RB is 129. So let me write here 129, RB as 129n square divided by RA, which is 3n whole square. 129 times 129, can we write like this? 129 times 129 whole square, right? That can be written as 129 times 129 upon n square, and 3 times 3 times n square will get cancelled out. 3 4s are 12, 3 3s are 9, and 3 4s are 12, 3 3s are 9. So what we got here is 43 times 43. That will be the 43 times 43. That will be the answer here. And is it going to be 43? Never. 43 times 43 will be greater than 1600. It can't be option C. Only left is option D. That is 1849. That's the correct answer. Let's now move and solve the next question. Okay, now starting with the question. The table is given and the data values are given to us, right? With respect to data values, there are the frequency which are given. So at data value 6, the frequency is 3. The frequency table summarizes 57 data values in the data set. What is the maximum data value in the data set? So the frequency is here, right? So what can be understood from this? The concept here is statistics, right? That topic is going to be statistics, and in statistics, frequency table. Okay. Under statistics, frequency table. That's the topic which the question is from. Now, what is this question all about? So these are total 57, right? So if we add them, this everything comes out to be 3 plus 3 plus 8 plus 8 plus 9 plus 11 plus 9 plus 0 plus 6. This is actually 57. So what is the data set here, which is given as the 6 is coming 3 times. So in the set form, you can write 6 3 times. Similarly, 7 can be written as 3 times, and every other reading will be written as with respect to the frequency which is there. Similarly, the last reading of this set will be 14, which will be written 6 times, right? 14, 14. 6 times it will be written 2, 4, 6. Yeah. So the question says, what is the maximum reading? That is going to be 14. That's the answer here. 14 being the correct answer. Okay. Now let's understand and solve the next question. Okay, now starting with this one, 21st question, it says that circle in the XY plane has diameter with the endpoints 2, 4 and 2, 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 2, y minus 9 whole square is equal to r square. R is a positive constant. What's the value of r? Now, the concept tested is from the topic circles, that is geometry, right? And in the geometry, the circle, equation of circle, let's quickly review. That is x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r square. Okay, so that's what is h and k. H and k are the coordinates of the center. Okay, that's the coordinates of the center of that circle. R is the radius of that particular circle. Okay, so they are giving you the equation of the circle in the center and radius form. So, and r is required. Now, if you understand the question well, it says there are 2 points which are on the diameter, right? So diameter has the coordinates. Let's say there is a circle. There's a circle which has a coordinate of passing through these 2 points, AB, and that's the diameter here. And A has a coordinate of 2, 4, 2, 4, and B has a coordinate of 2, 14, right? So if we understand, the X coordinate is actually the same, right? There is a change in Y coordinate, right? There is a change in the Y coordinate. Ideally, it should be vertical line, right? Vertical line, it changes from 4 to 14. So can we say that if this point, let's write A and B as the center as let's write instead of horizontal, let's take that point as the vertical. Why? Because it is 2, 4, 2, 14 and 2, 4. Let's say C and D, 2, 4. And why we have taken? Why? Because the X coordinate is actually same, right? X coordinate is same. Only Y coordinate is changing from 4 to 14. That means what will be the diameter here? Can we say CD will be nothing else but 10, 14 minus 4, that is 10. So if diameter is going to be 10, what will be the radius? That is going to be half of the diameter, which is 5. Hence, we can easily say that the radius is going to be 5. The value of R is 5. Hope the point is quite clear. Try to figure out the concept which is tested, correlate the concept which is tested with the question which is given, apply that concept onto the question. That's how you will start solving the question. Let's try the next question. Okay, now starting with the question, it says that the measure of angle R is 2 pi by 3 radians. The measure of angle T is 5 pi by 12 radians greater than the measure of angle R. What is the measure of angle T in degrees? Okay, so the concept tested here is conversion, right? It is the conversion of the radians 2 degrees, right? Radians 2 degrees in a circle. So what is radian? So we can say that pi radians is actually equal to 180 degrees. 180 degrees, right? So that means 1 radian is how much? 1 radian, 1 radian must be 180 divided by pi degrees. That will be the answer here, right? That's the conversion. 1 radian is nothing else but 180 over pi degrees. So that's how you convert radians to degrees. Now, starting with the question, it says that r is actually 2 pi by 3. If r is 2 pi by 3, t is given as 5 pi by 12 greater than, that means more than the angle r, and angle r is given as 2 pi by 3. So 5 pi by 12 plus 2 pi by 3, that will be the answer here. And let's take the LCM. So the LCM will be 12, 5 pi as it is, plus 4 threes, right? 3 fours are 12. So 4 multiplied by 2, that is 8 pi. So that means numerator will be 13 pi divided by 12, and this is in radians. Okay, so T value comes out to be 13 pi by 12 radians, and the requirement is in degrees. So how can we solve this? Can we say that 1 radian is 180 upon pi? So 13 pi by 12 radians, 13 pi by 12 radians must be 13 pi by 12 times 180 divided by pi. That will be the degree conversion, right? If 1 radian is this much, so 13 pi by 12 radians will be 13 pi by 12 times 180 divided by pi. Pi will get cancelled out. 12 15s. So that will be the answer here. 13 times 15 degrees, right? That is going to be 195. Option C being the correct answer here. Okay, now starting with the question, it says that a certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town, right? So again, a unit conversion question, right? Unit conversion question here. And what is the unit conversion? So 1 mile is actually given as 1760 yards, right? So if 1 mile is given, we can definitely convert it into yards. And the question gives you that 4.36 square miles, right? So what will be 4.36 square miles? If that is a case, we have to convert it into 4.36 miles square to yards square. That's the conversion. So what is 1 mile equivalent to? That is 1760. And if we understand, so what will be 1 mile square? So let's square both the sides, right? To convert it into squares. So 1 mile square can be written as 1760 times 1760 yards square. And what is 1760? Using the calculator here, 1760 times 1760, that is 3097600 yards. So if 1 mile is 1 mile square, 1 mile square is 3097600 yards square. So can we say that 4.36 mile squares, let's multiply both sides by 4.36. So 4.36 mile square is actually equal to 4.36 multiplied by 3097600 yards square, right? And what is, just multiply this, 3097600 times 4.36, and that is 1350536 yard square, right? So that's the conversion here. That's only option D being the correct one here. That's the answer. We are not having any other near to this. So yeah, that's the correct answer. Option D being the correct one here. Let's now move and solve the next question.